What is going on, brothers? It's the Line of Metal, you know the name. Got a video for you. It's entitled Why We Left, Part 19. Here goes. So the Deaf Image Consultant has exposed a lot here in the West in regards to the L.O.M bitch, the male hyena, and certain individuals who are washed up actresses and some who are supposed to be pastors. A lot has been exposed. I mean, the mask came off. And because this has happened, all it did was prove our point for the 1,000th time. This is why brothers worth their salt, brothers with eyes to see, ears to hear, have left that ghetto war zone, have left these ratchets, 12-gauge mic, and all of the absolute worst that our community has to offer. But right now I want to focus in on a particular sorry individual who masquerades as a pastor. And of all the people that were speaking ill of that image consultant, I didn't expect to hear it from a pastor. And if you don't know what I'm talking about Jamal Bryant's sorry ass. Yeah, him. Yeah, that minstrel. So apparently, one night, we got in front of his congregation. He went above and beyond to clout chase and kick the image consultant while he was down. And sure, the broke single mothers and all the old hoochies in his church cheered him on as he did that shit. And when that video footage got out, one of the men who was in that image consultant's fraternities, he actually pointed out that this fool who was speaking ill of that image consultant, they belong to the same fraternity. So not only was he speaking ill of the dead, he was sitting up here going above and beyond to kick this man while he was down. And he brought shame to his fraternity, and he actually made pastors, black pastors, look like even bigger idiots. That's what he did. For you brothers who are well-read, you brothers worth your soul, you brothers with eyes to see, ears to hear, you know that the second biggest snitch on the plantation was the pastor. The first one was the house negro, also known as the bed wench. Well, the minstrel who did that just proved us right. This is why we left. To get away from individuals like that minstrel pastor. Individuals like these L.O.M bitches and these male hyenas who turn their brains off, let the plumbing do the talking, and even the boomer simps of that particular community. You know, the ones who try to cannibalize and destroy the youth, the ones who try to steer them into failure. And let me break this down for you. If you are in your prime earning years, your 20s and your 30s, the last fucking thing on your mind should be chasing tail. That should be the very last thing on your mind. You should be on your purpose. Your purpose is to stack green and establish yourself in life, not to chase tail. But these bitch-made simps, these boomer simps who steer young men into failure, you wanna know how they do it? They look for the men who have a lot of potential. They look for the men who are stacking their green. They look for the men who are trying to get out of their situation that they're in. And you know what they do? They tell them that they're working too hard and it sounds like they need a girlfriend. That is how they steer them into failure. You see, they're trying to better their condition. And they can't better their condition chasing tail. You better your condition with skills and abilities and by stacking your green. But because these boomer simps have an evil eye towards the youth, they steer them into failure. They do that shit. And then they end up becoming exactly what these certain boomer simps and certain Gen X simps become. Washed up, dried out losers. They don't have a pot to piss in and don't to throw it out of. But they have an evil eye towards the youth. That's a terrible way to live. You become stagnant. And these are the same individuals who will tell you not to turn down any peace leave. These are the same individuals who will come to you with a straight face and say, there ain't no such thing as bad pussy. They're failures. And they are to be avoided like the plague. These Cleon bitches who dished that image consultant while he was dead, they are to be avoided like the plague. These minstrel pastors who have a congregation full of broke single mothers and hoochies, they are to be avoided like the plague. Don't even listen to them, because most of them are false prophets or false preachers anyway. You want to know what they preach for? They preach to stuff their bank account, and they preach to get into the pants of the women in their congregation. That's what they're doing. And that's why you brothers owe it to yourself to master your lockout game perfected and to leave. That's the only way you're going to better your condition. You want to get out of the bad situation that you're in, you're going to better your condition, you got to leave. There's no other way. You can't build around failures. You can't build around washed up simps who have an evil eye towards the youth. You can't build around overweight feminists who have an evil eye towards men and boys and go above and beyond to say, well, these men are being radicalized online, while ignoring the fact that there have been women here there have been certain Cleon bitches here on the tube advocating for the genocide of black men. You know, the ones who get online and say, if black women are pregnant and they're pregnant with baby boys, they should abort that MFer. Even though black females outnumber black males, so the pickings are already slim. But because they're slow, because they're bird brains, they don't realize that they are actually sinking their own ship. They're furthering their affliction. And you want to know what's really sad about the whole thing? There are individuals like them who know that they are furthering their affliction. They don't give a damn. Because as long as they're hurting you, they're happy. That is a terrible way to live. That's why you brothers owe it to yourselves to leave. Focus on skills and abilities. Do not chase tail. Do not let your plumbing do the talking. Focus on skills and abilities. Stack your green, get a passport, and know the world for yourself. You see, I'm not selling you any books. I'm not telling you to sign up for any programs. I'm telling you to stay on your purpose. That's what separates me from the grifters and these motor mouth minstrels and POA clowns here on the tube. We'll try to steer you into failure. You brothers, keep your head on swivel and stay safe and stay vigilant during these perilous times. Do that. This is Line of MGTOW. That's all I got. Like the video, like, share in the commentary, subscribe. If you want to donate, this is my channel. You find a tip jar on the upper right hand side of the screen. That's your plus icon. Alright, fam. Alright, brethren. You know it's real. You know what you can go away live on SYSBM. As for these Cleon bitches, these minstrel pastors, these sad, pathetic, old bitch-made simps who try to steer you into failure, give them nothing. This has been the SYSBM PSA. More to come. Stay. See you soon.